Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Buddhism and Life. Today, we will take you on a journey into a fascinating story about the last digit of your birth year. Let's listen together. Life is a mystery, woven with unseen threads of fate, karma, and the energies that shape our existence. Have you ever felt drawn to certain patterns in your life? Wondered why some experiences repeat, while others unfold effortlessly? The universe speaks in symbols, and within those symbols lies a deeper truth, one that has been waiting for you to discover it. Buddhist wisdom teaches that nothing is random, that every moment, every number, every choice carries meaning. The digits of your birth year are more than numbers, they are whispers of the cosmic forces that influence your path. What if understanding them could help you unlock hidden strengths, overcome challenges, and align with your true purpose? Your journey into self-discovery begins here. Each number carries a vibration, a lesson, a destiny. As we explore their meanings, you may begin to see your life in a way you never have before. What do these ancient truths reveal about you? Are you ready to uncover the mysteries hidden in the fabric of your existence? Share your thoughts, your insights, and your questions in the comments below, because no journey of wisdom is walked alone. The meaning of the last digit of your birth year. Each digit from 0 to 9 holds a profound spiritual significance in Buddhism, serving as a gateway to understanding the deeper forces that shape existence. These numbers are not mere symbols but energetic signatures that leave an imprint on one's destiny, personality, and spiritual journey. Let us embark on an exploration of these hidden meanings, unveiling the unseen threads that weave through our lives. 0. The cycle of emptiness and infinite potential. In the vast silence of the cosmos, before the first breath of creation, there was only emptiness, a void of infinite possibilities. This is the essence of shunyata, the Buddhist concept of emptiness, a paradoxical truth that holds both nothingness and boundless potential. To be born under the mark of 0 is to carry within oneself the echo of this primordial void, an eternal dance between destruction and rebirth. Those born in years ending in 0 walk a path marked by ceaseless transformation. They are like the tide, forever pulled between retreat and return, their lives punctuated by cycles of renewal. Theirs is a destiny intertwined with impermanence. They watch as the old crumbles, only to give rise to the new. A person touched by the energy of 0 often feels an inexplicable detachment, as though they are neither of this world nor entirely beyond it. They are wanderers of fate, slipping effortlessly through change, shedding past selves like autumn leaves. Yet, in this ceaseless shifting, they sometimes feel unmoored, lost in the void between endings and beginnings. Challenges and lessons. The great challenge for those bearing the number 0 is the sensation of drifting, an endless cycle of beginnings that never seem to reach a true conclusion. They may struggle with grounding themselves, feeling as if their existence is a dream within a dream, where permanence is an illusion and attachments dissolve before they can fully form. But herein lies their greatest lesson: to trust the rhythm of life's flow, to surrender to the unseen currents, and to recognize that within every ending lies the seed of a new beginning. A story of fire and renewal. Deep in the heart of an ancient monastery, an old Buddhist monk once shared a tale that carried the whispers of ages past. There was a man who lived in a prosperous village, surrounded by wealth and comfort. He had built his life upon stone and gold, believing that his possessions anchored his existence. But one fateful night, a fire swept through the land, consuming all he had built. The inferno turned his riches to ash, leaving him in the cold embrace of nothingness. Devastated, he sought guidance from a revered monk who resided in the mountains. The monk, upon hearing his plight, simply smiled and said, "Rejoice, for you have been freed." The man, bewildered, asked how he could possibly rejoice when he had lost everything. The monk led him to a nearby river, its waters flowing endlessly toward the horizon. "Tell me," the monk asked, "where does the river end?" The man followed its path with his eyes but could find no conclusion. "Only an endless journey onward. It does not end," he whispered. The monk nodded. "So too is life. All that burns, all that fades, all that is lost, none of it is the end. Only another beginning." With time, the man understood. He let go of his grief, realizing that his suffering arose not from the loss itself, but from his attachment to what was never meant to last. With newfound clarity, he rebuilt his life, not upon possessions, but upon the wisdom of impermanence. And from that day forward, he was truly free. Reflections on the number 0. The number 0 whispers the deepest truths of Buddhism. All things are transient. And freedom is found in surrender. Those who bear this number are tasked with embracing the great unknown, dancing between emptiness and infinite potential, and recognizing that to let go is not to lose, but to truly begin. 1. Leadership and independence. In the eternal movement of the universe, the number 1 stands apart, like the first flame igniting in the darkness, carving a path never before seen. It is the symbol of beginnings, of pioneering will, of an unyielding soul that refuses to follow the beaten track. Those born under the influence of 1 are destined to lead, unafraid to diverge from the currents of fate to forge their own way forward. These individuals carry an aura of independence, an internal force that urges them to act according to their intuition and ideals. They are not easily swayed by the majority, nor do they bow to preordained circumstances. They are pioneers, those who dare to tread paths no one has walked before, willing to face challenges head-on to bring about change. Within them burns an inextinguishable fire, an unwavering belief that they are capable of achieving greatness, challenges and lessons. But the fate of pioneers is never an easy one. They may become so confident in their abilities that they isolate themselves, reluctant to rely on others. Pride can become a wall that separates them from the world around them. At times, they forget that leadership is not just about walking ahead, it is about inspiring others, fostering unity, and uplifting those around them to move forward together. Their lesson is to find balance between their capacity to lead and the humility to listen, between personal strength and the spirit of cooperation. A true leader is not someone who stands above others but one who helps them grow, so that all may advance together. A lesson from the Buddha, the path of a pioneer. Over 2.500 years ago, there was a man who chose to abandon everything most secure in his life. Born a prince, he lived in a grand palace, surrounded by wealth and power. Yet within his soul, a fire burned, a calling that could not be ignored. He could not turn a blind eye to the suffering of the people beyond the palace gates. He knew that if he wished to find the truth, if he sought to liberate himself and the world from suffering, he had to leave it all behind. One dark night, under the faint glow of the moon, he silently walked away from the palace, leaving behind his wife, his child, his throne, everything that was deemed the ultimate assurance of life. He embarked on a path no one had taken before, a journey without a clear destination, without guarantees. This was the path of those marked by 1, those who dared to forsake security in search of something greater. Through years of wandering, he learned from countless masters, practiced extreme asceticism, and pushed himself to the very limits of human endurance. But then, he realized, the answer did not lie in extremes, but in the middle path. From this realization, he attained enlightenment and illuminated a way that millions would later follow. He was the ultimate embodiment of 1, a pioneer, a man who dared to go against all established doctrines to give birth to a new philosophy, forever transforming the way humanity perceives suffering, liberation, and truth. Reflections on the number 1. The number 1 is not for the weak-hearted. It belongs to those who dare to rise, to challenge, and to carve new paths. But to achieve true greatness, they must understand that leadership is not about walking alone. It is about carrying the light that guides those who follow. 2. Harmony and duality. Like the reflection of the moon upon still waters, the number 2 carries the energy of balance, a bridge between opposing forces. It whispers the song of cooperation, diplomacy, and the gentle art of connection. Those who bear this number are the peacemakers of the world, the ones who walk the delicate thread between light and shadow, seeking to unite rather than divide. To be born under the influence of 2 is to be blessed with a heightened sensitivity to the energies around you. You feel the emotions of others as if they were your own, understanding unspoken words, sensing conflict before it even arises. You do not rush into battle like the warriors of the world. Instead, you weave harmony through wisdom, dissolving discord with a single glance or a carefully chosen word. Where others see division, you see a path to unity, challenges and lessons. Yet, the burden of harmony is heavy. Those guided by the second of may find themselves sacrificing their own desires to keep the peace, bending under the weight of others' expectations. Their voices become whispers, lost beneath the needs of those they strive to protect. Conflict, to them, feels like a sharp wind against fragile glass. They avoid it at all costs, even when standing firm is necessary. But balance is not only about yielding, it is also about knowing when to stand your ground. The lesson for those carrying two is to assert their own needs without shattering the harmony they cherish. True peace is not found in silence, but in the ability to hold space for both yourself and others. A story of strength and stillness. In a land ravaged by war, where the cries of the wounded echoed through the valleys, there lived a Buddhist nun. She did not wield weapons, nor did she command armies, but her presence alone carried a force stronger than steel. She walked through the ruins of broken villages, offering not just food or medicine, but words that healed wounds unseen by the eye. One day, two warring factions stood on the brink of destruction. Their hatred burned like an unquenchable fire. Centuries of conflict woven into the very fabric of their souls. They sought vengeance, believing that only blood could repay blood. The nun stood between them, calm as the eye of a storm. "Look at your hands," she whispered, and they hesitated. What do they hold? Weapons? Hatred? Or the power to heal? Her words were gentle, yet they carried the weight of ages. A silence fell over the battlefield, a silence filled with reflection. And in that moment, the first seed of peace was sown. She spent her life walking the path of two, never forcing, never commanding, only guiding, only showing that there was another way. Reflections on the number two. The number two is the silent force that keeps the world from falling apart. It is the whisper in the wind that reminds us that true strength lies not in division, but in unity. Those who walk this path are gifted with the power to heal rifts, to bring balance where there is chaos. But they must never forget that their own voice, too, is sacred. Harmony is found not in silence, but in the dance between giving and receiving. 3. Creativity and expression. Like ink flowing across parchment, the number 3 carries the spirit of boundless creativity. Where thoughts, emotions, and spirit intertwine into a symphony of expression, those born under its influence are the artists, the poets, the visionaries, their souls resonating with the melodies of inspiration. They do not merely exist, they create. Their words shape new worlds. Their art breathes color into the mundane. Their ideas crackle like fire in the night. But in this great gift lies their greatest challenge, for boundless energy without direction is like a river with no banks, spilling into chaos. They move like the wind, unpredictable, ever-changing, restless in their pursuit of beauty and meaning. Their presence is felt in the laughter that fills a room, in the strokes of a painter lost in their craft, in the melodies hummed under one's breath. They thrive in spaces where creativity flourishes, where stories unfold, and where the intangible becomes tangible through their touch. Challenges and lessons. The mind of a 3 is a whirlwind of ideas, ever expanding, ever shifting, but too many paths can lead to distraction, leaving dreams unfinished. They may struggle with discipline, finding it difficult to complete what they start, as their minds are already drawn toward the next stroke of inspiration. Their lesson is to harness creativity with discipline, to let meditation ground their inspiration, shaping chaos into masterpiece. The most powerful creation is not the one that remains an idea, but the one that is given form, through patience, practice, and perseverance. A story of creation and stillness. In a quiet monastery hidden among the misty mountains, a Zen artist once sat before a blank canvas. He had spent years studying the way ink met paper, how each stroke carried the essence of the moment. Yet, for days, he hesitated, unable to paint. His mind was restless, flooded with visions, but his hand would not move. Frustrated, he sought wisdom from his master. The old monk led him to a still pond and said, "Look at the water." The artist gazed at the surface, noticing its perfect stillness. The master then picked up a stone and tossed it in, sending ripples across the pond. When the mind is restless, he said, creativity scatters like these ripples. When the mind is still, the reflection becomes clear. Understanding dawned upon the artist. He returned to his canvas and, with a calm mind, let the ink flow. Each stroke was deliberate, each movement effortless. Creativity, he realized, flourishes not in chaos, but in stillness. A Zen artist once said, "The brush is an extension of the soul." Creativity flourishes when the mind is still. Reflections on the number 3. The number 3 is a force of limitless potential, a wellspring of imagination and inspiration. But it must be nurtured, directed, and cultivated with care. Those who walk this path must learn that true expression does not come from a flurry of unfinished ideas, but from the ability to channel one's visions into reality. When creativity meets focus, masterpieces are born. 4. Stability and foundation. Like the ancient mountains standing unmoved by the winds of time, the number 4 embodies the essence of stability, endurance, and foundation. It is the number of the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air, the building blocks of existence, and the 4 noble truths, the foundation of Buddhist wisdom. Those who bear this number are the architects of their own fate. Steadfast in their pursuit of structure, discipline, and hard work. To be born under the influence of 4 is to carry the weight of responsibility, to feel the need to construct something lasting in a world where everything is transient. These individuals seek order where there is chaos, clarity where there is confusion. They are the silent pillars upon which great endeavors stand, the ones who understand that true strength lies not in fleeting moments, but in the unwavering foundations upon which a life is built. Their energy is like the roots of an ancient tree, delving deep into the earth, holding firm even as the storms rage above. They move through life with a measured pace, building methodically, one step at a time. Yet, just as stone can become rigid, so too can they struggle with change, resisting the tides of transformation that seek to reshape the landscape of their existence. Challenges and lessons. The strength of 4 is in its ability to endure, to persist where others falter. Yet, this same strength can become a barrier, making them resistant to change, hesitant to let go of what has always been. They may find themselves clinging to routines, fearing the unknown, reluctant to step beyond the walls they have so carefully constructed. But stability is not stagnation. The lesson for 4 is to remain grounded while learning to bend like the bamboo. To trust that even when the earth shifts, the foundation remains unshaken. True strength is not found in rigidity, but in the ability to stand firm while adapting to the currents of life. A story of brick and spirit. There was once a monk who arrived at a barren mountainside, where nothing but wind and silence reigned. With nothing but his hands, he set to work, laying the first stone of what would one day become a monastery. Each day, he carried bricks up the mountain, one by one. The work was slow, the progress almost invisible. The seasons changed, the years passed, and still, he labored, brick by brick, step by step. One day, a traveler stopped and asked, "Why do you toil so tirelessly? The mountain is vast, and you are but one man." The monk smiled and replied, "A strong foundation is built not in haste, but in patience. Each brick laid is a meditation, a lesson in mindfulness. A house built in a day will crumble in a storm, but a monastery built with intention will endure for lifetimes." The traveler watched in silence as the monk placed another brick, aligning it carefully, perfectly. In that moment, he understood, true stability does not come from stone, but from the spirit that builds it. Years later, when the monastery stood tall against the sky, those who visited did not marvel at the bricks, but at the presence of stillness that radiated from within its walls. Reflections on the number 4. The number 4 is the guardian of stability, the silent force that holds the world together. Those who carry this number are entrusted with the task of building, structuring, and creating legacies that withstand the passage of time. Yet, they must also learn that even the strongest foundation must allow room for growth. To endure is not to resist change, but to integrate it, knowing that the earth shifts, but the mountain remains. 5. Freedom and change. Like the restless wind that never lingers in one place, the number 5 embodies the energy of movement, adventure, and boundless curiosity. It is the pulse of change, the heartbeat of exploration, the call of the unknown that beckons those who dare to step beyond the familiar. Those born under the influence of 5 are the wanderers, the seekers, the ones who refuse to be confined by walls, whether physical or spiritual. They move like the river, carving new paths where none existed before. Their spirits untamed, their souls ignited by the thrill of discovery. Routine suffocates them, stagnation is their greatest enemy. To them, life is a grand journey, an endless unfolding of possibilities. They are drawn to experiences that challenge, transform, and awaken them to new dimensions of existence. Yet, within this endless motion lies their greatest challenge, for what is freedom if it is only escape? Challenges and lessons. The essence of 5 is movement, but motion without direction can become chaos. Those who carry this number may find themselves drifting, leaping from one passion to another, never fully anchoring, never truly committing. They may fear stability, mistaking it for confinement, and in doing so, they may lose themselves in a whirlwind of fleeting experiences. Their lesson is to find balance between exploration and foundation, to understand that true freedom is not in constant flight, but in the ability to embrace change while remaining centered. A traveler with no destination will eventually tire, but one who walks with purpose will reach new realms of understanding. A story of a seeker's revelation. There once was a traveler who could not stay in one place for long. He wandered from village to village, mountain to mountain, chasing the horizon, believing that somewhere, just beyond the next ridge, he would find what he was searching for. He met sages, learned many teachings, and filled his heart with stories. Yet still, he felt something was missing. One day, he came upon a small monastery nestled deep in the valley. An old monk sat beneath a gnarled tree, watching the traveler approach. "You have come a long way," the monk said. The traveler nodded, "But I still do not know where I am going." The monk smiled and pointed to the river flowing nearby. "That river has traveled farther than any man, yet it always returns to the sea." The traveler watched the water rush past, its current ceaseless, its path never truly still. And in that moment, he understood, freedom is not about running. It is about knowing when to return. He stayed at the monastery for some time, not because he was trapped, but because he finally understood that stillness was not the opposite of movement, it was a part of it. Reflections on the number 5. The number 5 is the spirit of adventure, the whisper of change that stirs the soul. Those who walk this path are meant to explore, to question, to break barriers. Yet, they must also learn that true liberation does not come from constant movement, but from the wisdom to know when to stay, when to let go, and when to surrender to the currents of life. For the wind that never rests becomes a storm, but the wind that knows its purpose shapes the world. 6. Love and compassion. Like the gentle embrace of the earth cradling all life, the number 6 carries the essence of love, service, and boundless compassion. It is the number of the nurturer, the guardian, the one who gives without hesitation, who shelters without question. Those born under the influence of 6 are the keepers of warmth in a world that often turns cold. They move through life with an open heart, drawn to those in need, offering comfort where there is sorrow, guidance where there is confusion. Their presence is like the flickering glow of a lantern in the dark, a quiet reassurance that no soul is ever truly alone. They find purpose in caring, healing, and protecting, whether for family, community, or even strangers. Yet, within this gift of service lies their greatest challenge, for how can one pour from an empty cup? Challenges and lessons. The heart of 6 is vast, but even the most giving soul must learn its limits. Those who walk this path often give until they are depleted, forgetting that their own well-being is just as sacred as those they care for. They may carry the burdens of others, absorbing pain that is not theirs to bear, mistaking self-sacrifice for love. Their lesson is to balance giving with receiving, to understand that true compassion is not martyrdom, but the ability to uplift others without losing oneself. A candle that burns too brightly will extinguish itself before it can light the way for others. A story of the compassionate monk. Deep in a secluded valley, there lived a monk known for his kindness. People from distant lands sought him, for it was said that his words could heal wounds unseen, that his presence alone could ease suffering. He listened to their sorrows, carried their burdens, and offered wisdom with an open heart. Years passed, and the monk grew weary. His once radiant presence dimmed. His steps grew slow, his spirit heavy. One day, an old friend visited and found him sitting by a stream, his gaze distant. "Why do you look so tired, my friend?" the visitor asked. The monk sighed. "I have spent my life giving, yet I feel as though I have lost something along the way." The visitor picked up a bowl and filled it with water from the stream. "Drink," he said. The monk drank, and as he did, the visitor continued, "You have given to others. But who has given to you? The river flows endlessly, yet even it must be replenished by the rain. A well that is never refilled will run dry. In that moment, the monk understood. He had mistaken endless giving for love, forgetting that to care for others, one must also care for oneself. From that day forward, he learned to receive, to rest, to accept kindness, to let others carry him as he had carried them. Reflections on the number 6. The number 6 is the heart of the universe, the quiet force that binds souls together. Those who walk this path are blessed with the power to heal, to nurture, to bring light where there is darkness. Yet, they must also remember that love is not just an offering, it is an exchange. For the river that nourishes all must also drink from the sky, lest it run dry and fade into dust. 7. Spirituality and inner wisdom. Like the solitary monk meditating atop a mist-covered peak, the number 7 carries the energy of introspection, wisdom, and the pursuit of enlightenment. It is the number of the seeker, the philosopher, the one who walks the path of silence to uncover the deepest truths of existence. Those born under the influence of 7 are drawn to the mysteries of the universe, their souls forever yearning for understanding beyond the physical realm. They are the ones who find solace in the whispers of the wind, in the rhythm of falling rain, in the stillness of the night sky. Knowledge calls to them like a distant echo, and they follow it, through ancient scriptures, through meditation, through the endless corridors of the mind. They are wanderers of the unseen, explorers of the unknown, forever questioning, forever searching. Yet, within this profound journey lies their greatest challenge. For what is wisdom if it is locked away in solitude? Challenges and lessons. The mind of 7 is a deep well, but even the clearest water must flow, lest it become stagnant. Those who walk this path may find themselves withdrawing from the world, losing themselves in thought, preferring the company of ideas to that of people. They may see the noise of society as a distraction, a veil that blinds others to the deeper truths they seek. But wisdom is not meant to be hoarded, it is meant to be shared. Their lesson is to balance spiritual growth with human connection, to descend from the mountain of solitude and bring light to those still searching in the dark. A lantern shines brightest when it is held aloft, not hidden away. A story of the silent sage. There was once a sage who lived alone in a cave high above the world. For years, he spoke to no one, his days spent in meditation, his nights filled with the quiet hum of the universe. He had studied the sacred texts, unraveled the mysteries of the mind, and seen visions of the infinite. He believed he had found the ultimate truth. One day, a traveler made the arduous climb to seek his wisdom. Reaching the cave, the traveler bowed and asked, "Master, what is the meaning of life?" The sage opened his eyes, and for the first time in decades, he spoke. "Life is an illusion, a fleeting dream. Detach from it, and you will know peace." The traveler frowned. "Then why do I feel empty when I am alone?" The sage was silent. He had never asked himself this question. The traveler continued, "What use is enlightenment if it cannot warm another's soul? If wisdom is only for oneself, is it wisdom at all?" The sage sat for a long time, listening to the wind, to the world he had shut out for so long. And in that moment, he realized that true understanding was not in escaping life, but in embracing it. The next morning, he left his cave for the first time in years, descending into the valley where the people lived, ready to share what he had learned. Reflections on the number 7. The number 7 is the key to the hidden, the light in the depths of the mind. Those who walk this path are meant to seek, to question, to uncover. But they must also remember that enlightenment is not an escape, it is a bridge. For the mountain is not a prison, but a place to gather wisdom before returning to the world below, to guide others along the way. 8. Power and manifestation. Like the rhythmic turning of the cosmic wheel, the number 8 carries the energy of abundance, karma, and the power to shape reality. It is the number of the builder, the force that bends fate to its will, the unshakable pillar upon which empires rise. Those born under the influence of 8 are natural leaders, their spirits forged in the fire of ambition, their eyes set on distant horizons where success and mastery await. They are the ones who see the invisible paths, who take raw potential and transform it into something tangible. Their hands mold dreams into reality. Their presence commands attention, and their determination is unyielding. To them, power is not merely an illusion, it is a force to be wielded, a current to be directed with precision and purpose. Yet, within this boundless strength lies their greatest challenge. For what is wealth if the soul is impoverished? Challenges and lessons. The ambition of 8 is a mighty wind, capable of moving mountains, but if unchecked, it may become a storm that sweeps away all in its path. Those who walk this road may find themselves consumed by the pursuit of material success. Mistaking wealth for fulfillment, they may build towers of gold but neglect the temple within, placing value in the external while their inner world remains barren. Their lesson is to align wealth with a higher purpose, to understand that true power is not in what is owned, but in what is given, in the legacy left behind. A river that hoards its water will dry up, but one that flows freely nourishes all it touches. A story of the merchant and the monk. In a grand city of towering spires and endless trade, there lived a merchant known across the land for his wealth. He possessed more gold than he could count, ships that sailed to distant shores, and houses adorned with the finest silks. Yet, despite his riches, his heart was restless, and sleep often eluded him. One evening, he wandered through the streets and found himself before a humble monastery, where a monk sat peacefully beneath the glow of lantern light. Intrigued, the merchant approached and asked, "Tell me, wise one, what is the secret to peace?" The monk smiled and gestured toward the sky. "Do you see the stars?" The merchant nodded. "If you spend your life reaching for them, you will never touch them. But if you learn to admire their light, to let them guide you instead of chase them, you will find your way." The merchant fell silent, his mind turning over the words. For years, he had chased wealth as if it were the stars, believing that more would bring him peace. But in that moment, he saw the truth. Riches mean nothing if they do not illuminate the path for others. The next day, he used his fortune to build schools, to provide shelter for those in need, and in doing so, he found the one treasure that had always eluded him: peace. Reflections on the number 8. The number 8 is the key to creation, the cycle of karma turning in endless motion. Those who walk this path are given the power to build, to lead, to shape destiny itself. But they must remember that true success is not measured in gold, but in the lives they touch, the wisdom they share, the light they leave behind. For power without purpose is a hollow throne, but power wielded with wisdom becomes the foundation of something eternal. 9. Completion and compassion. Like the final stroke of a calligrapher's brush, the number 9 marks the end of a cycle, the closing of a chapter, the culmination of all that has come before. It is the number of universal love, humanitarianism, and transcendence, the embodiment of wisdom gained through experience, the soul that has walked many paths and now seeks to give back to the world. Those born under the influence of 9 carry within them the echoes of lifetimes, a deep well of empathy that allows them to feel the struggles of others as if they were their own. They are drawn to service, to healing, to the work of guiding those still lost in the labyrinth of existence. Their presence is like the setting sun, warm, golden, offering light even as it prepares to disappear beyond the horizon. Yet, within this boundless compassion lies their greatest challenge, for how can one pour endlessly without first replenishing the vessel? Challenges and lessons. The heart of 9 is vast, capable of embracing the suffering of the world, but such weight can become unbearable. Those who walk this path may take on more than they can carry. Mistaking sacrifice for service, martyrdom for love, they may feel the pain of others so deeply that they lose themselves. Forgetting that true compassion is not self-destruction but the ability to uplift without being consumed. Their lesson is to serve with wisdom, not sacrifice, to understand that the greatest gift one can give is not the extinguishing of their own flame, but the ability to light the way for others while keeping their own spirit alight. The healer must also heal. The teacher must also learn. The giver must also receive. A story of the compassionate wanderer. There was once a wanderer who had traveled through many lands, offering aid to those in need. He had given all that he had, his time, his energy, his very soul, until one day, he collapsed by the side of the road, exhausted and empty. As he lay there, an old woman approached and knelt beside him. "You have given much, child," she said softly, "but why do you now lie broken?" The wanderer looked up, his voice weak. "Because I gave everything, and now I have nothing left." The woman smiled and reached into her pouch, pulling out a small cup. She filled it with water from a nearby stream and placed it in his hands. "Drink," she said. "A cup that is emptied cannot quench the thirst of others." The wanderer drank, and as the water soothed his throat, understanding dawned upon him. He had believed that to serve meant to give until there was nothing left but true service. He now realized, required balance. One cannot nourish the world while starving oneself. From that day forward, he continued his journey, but now he walked with wisdom. He learned to rest, to receive kindness as well as give it, to understand that to truly uplift others, he must first stand strong himself. Reflections on the number 9. The number 9 is the final chapter. The wisdom of the old soul. The hand that reaches out not to carry another's burden, but to guide them forward. Those who walk this path are the light bearers, the teachers, the ones who know that endings are merely beginnings in disguise. To serve is a sacred duty. But true service is not the sacrifice of self. It is the ability to give while remaining whole. To love without losing oneself. To walk forward not as a martyr, but as a beacon of light. Applying this knowledge in daily life. The numbers that shape your birth are not mere coincidences, they are energetic imprints. Subtle forces weaving through the fabric of your existence. To understand them is to unveil the hidden currents guiding your choices, your strengths, and the obstacles that shape your path. This is not fortune-telling, nor is it a rigid fate, but a tool, a compass to navigate the vast ocean of life with awareness. By aligning with the essence of your number, you gain the ability to move with intention, to harness its strengths and transcend its limitations. The wisdom of numbers is a key, not to control destiny, but to dance with it, to become attuned to the deeper rhythms that govern your existence. 1. Self-reflection. The mirror of the soul. Begin by observing, how does your number manifest in your life? What patterns repeat? What strengths arise effortlessly? What challenges seem to follow you? Reflection is the first step toward mastery. If your number is 1, do you always feel the urge to lead, to carve your own path, yet struggle with working alongside others? If you bear the energy of 5, does your soul crave freedom, yet find it difficult to stay rooted in one place? If 9 is your number, do you feel an overwhelming sense of purpose, yet battle with the exhaustion of carrying the weight of the world? The answers lie in the moments that define you. Write them down, sit with them, let your experiences become a map of your soul's journey. 2. Mindfulness practices. Aligning with your number's energy. Numbers are vibrations, frequencies that hum beneath the surface of existence. To tune yourself to your number's energy, engage in mindful practices that help you embody its essence. If your number is 2, practice deep breathing exercises that bring balance to your emotions, mirroring the harmony you seek in life. If your number is 4, ground yourself with walking meditation, feeling the earth beneath your feet, steady and unwavering. If you resonate with 7, seek solitude in nature, allowing the stillness of the world to guide your inner quest for knowledge. Meditation, breathwork, and even simple acts of presence, like watching a candle flicker or listening to the sound of rain, can bring you closer to the core of your number's wisdom. 3. Mantras and affirmations. The power of spoken energy. Words are vessels of energy. When spoken with intention, they ripple through the unseen, aligning your being with the truth you wish to manifest. Every number carries a unique frequency, and by using mantras or affirmations, you awaken that resonance within yourself. For number 1, I embrace my power and lead with wisdom. For number 3, creativity flows through me effortlessly. For number 8, I attract abundance and use it for a higher purpose. Repeating your mantra daily, whether in the stillness of the morning or as a whispered prayer before sleep, anchors your energy to your number's highest potential. 4. Balance and harmony. Integrating the lessons of your number. Every number carries both light and shadow. To fully embody its essence, you must embrace both sides and find balance within them. If your number calls you to be a leader, learn the art of listening. If your number gifts you creativity, cultivate discipline to bring your visions to life. If your number drives you to serve others, remember that you, too, are deserving of care. Harmony does not mean suppressing your nature, it means refining it, guiding it, allowing it to unfold in alignment with your highest self. The numbers do not dictate your path. They offer whispers, suggestions, echoes of a greater cosmic rhythm. It is up to you to listen, to align, and to walk forward with intention. For in the end, the greatest power is not in knowing your number, but in understanding how to wield its wisdom. The numbers that shape us are not just symbols. They are echoes of a deeper cosmic order, guiding us towards self-awareness, purpose, and enlightenment. What we have explored is only the beginning. Beyond these insights, there are still mysteries waiting, still layers yet to be revealed. Take a moment to reflect. What resonated with you? What patterns have you begun to notice in your own life? The journey of wisdom is not about mere understanding. It is about transformation. True knowledge is not meant to be kept, it is meant to be shared. To be questioned, to be lived. Leave a comment below with your reflections, your discoveries, and the questions that linger in your heart. The search for truth is never ending, and every insight you share adds to the collective wisdom we are building together. Stay with us, there is still more to uncover, still deeper truths to explore. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep awakening. The answers you seek may already be within you. Thank you so much for watching our video until the end. Wishing you a wonderful day. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.